Sir, you need to sit down for this. She named you as the father. The words slammed into Zayden Hale's chest like a hammer he had been running from for 5 straight years. He froze in the middle of his glass office, city lights burning behind him like witnesses to the moment his perfectly controlled world cracked open. The phone trembled in his hand, though he'd never admit it. Billionaires don't tremble. They dominate. They command. They win. But not today. Not when the voice on the other end belonged to the hospital administrator speaking about her. Alina Roche, his ex-wife. The only woman who ever saw the real man behind the empire, and the only woman he ever broke so deeply that she walked away without looking back. Zayden swallowed hard, trying to form a sentence, but the air felt thick, suffocating. Repeat that, he managed, voice lower than a whisper. She listed you as the father, Mr. Hale, the administrator said again. Before she collapsed. Collapsed. The word ripped through him like shrapnel. He pressed the phone to his forehead, eyes squeezed shut. 5 months since the divorce. 5 months since he told himself he didn't care. 5 months of pretending her absence wasn't the loudest silence of his entire life. And now she was lying in a hospital bed, naming him as the father of a child he never even knew existed. He cleared his throat. Is the baby okay? A girl. She's stable. But we need the listed guardian present immediately. A girl. His girl? Could that even be possible? His heartbeat thundered, every denial he tried to summon crumbling in front of a truth he wasn't ready to face. If Alina had been pregnant during the divorce, if she hid it, if she had been alone all this time, guilt crawled up his spine like fire. He hung up without another word. The elevator ride down from his 57th floor was a blur of reflections. His reflection, cold suit, colder eyes, but beneath that polished surface was a man unraveling. Lena swept the panicked child into her arms. You're safe now. I promise. But we can't stay here. She risked a glance across the park and saw him. Tall. Intense. Searching. His eyes locked onto Lily's white dress with a hunger that made Lena's stomach twist. Her protective instinct surged. Hold on tight, she whispered. She pulled Lily close and maneuvered quickly through the crowd, using the restaurant's back alley to avoid being followed. Lily hid her face in Lena's shoulder, her tiny body shaking. Is he still there? Lily whispered. Not anymore. I've got you, Lena murmured, rubbing her back soothingly. Inside, though, her mind was racing. She needed safety, privacy, a place where Lily could breathe again. So Lena hurried with the child through familiar streets until they reached her small apartment, a humble, cozy place filled with soft lights and worn furniture. Lily had never been here before, but today it became a sanctuary. Once inside, Lena locked the door firmly, 1 lock, 2 locks, then closed the curtains so no one could peek inside. Lily collapsed onto the sofa, hands trembling. Lena knelt beside her, brushing a curl from her face. Sweetheart, look at me. You're okay now. But I need you to tell me everything. Don't hide anything, all right? Lily wiped her tear-streaked cheeks, trying to steady her breathing. Her voice shook, but she spoke. He started looking at me when I first came to the park. At first I thought it was accident. But then he kept coming back. Every time. Watching. Getting closer. Lena's heart darkened. I didn't want to tell Daddy, Lily whispered. He's always so busy and I didn't want him to worry. Lena's chest ached. Oh, Lily, he deserves to know. But thank you for trusting me today. Lily's voice broke. He grabbed my wrist today. He said something I didn't understand, but it scared me. I ran and then I saw you. Lena gently cupped her cheek. You did the right thing. You're brave. So brave. Lily sniffled. What if he finds me again? Lena's eyes hardened, not with fear, but with determination. Lily, she said softly yet fiercely, I will never let him touch you again. Not while I'm alive. The promise echoed loud in the tiny apartment. But beneath that promise, Lena's thoughts churned. The billionaire, Mr. Sterling, had no idea his daughter had just escaped a predator. And he had no idea how close he had come to losing her. As dusk painted the city in shades of violet, Lena held Lily in her arms, letting the terrified child sleep against her. She stroked her hair gently, and she made a vow, one she had never spoken before. "I won't just protect you," she whispered into the quiet. "I'll end this. For good." She looked toward the window, where the city lights flickered like silent warnings. This wasn't over. And somewhere across the city, Lily's father was about to learn the truth. Everything would change tonight. Lily slept curled against Lena's chest, tiny fingers gripping the maid's shirt even in her dreams. Every few minutes, a tremor ran through her small body, as though the memory of the man's cold hand on her wrist still lingered on her skin. Lena held her protectively, arms wrapped around the child who had always felt like more than just her employer's daughter. To Lena, Lily was family. And family was something you defended with everything you had. The room was quiet except for Lily's soft breathing, but Lena's mind was loud, furious, determined, strategizing. She brushed a gentle thumb over Lily's forehead and whispered, "Sweetheart, I need you strong. Because tomorrow we fight back." After nearly an hour, Lily stirred awake. Her big blue eyes fluttered open, confusion briefly clouding them before she remembered what happened. She tensed immediately. "Is he gone?" Lily whispered. "Yes," Lena assured softly. "He can't reach you here." "But he always finds me at the park," Lily's voice cracked. "Every day, even when I hide behind the swings." Lena's heart tightened. "When did this start, Lily? Tell me everything." Lily tucked her knees close to her chest, like she wanted to make herself smaller, safer. "The first time it was 2 weeks ago. I was drawing with chalk on the sidewalk. He stood behind the tree and watched me. I thought he was waiting for someone, but..." She squeezed her eyes shut. "But then he started smiling at me. A scary smile, then waving. And he said my name." Lena froze. "He knew your name?" Lily nodded. "He said, 'Lily, come here for a minute.' But I ran home. I didn't want to scare Daddy, so I didn't tell him." A storm of disbelief and anger rose in Lena's chest. "Oh, honey, you should always tell me. Or your dad. Or someone." "I was scared," Lily whispered. "And I thought maybe I was wrong. But today..." Her lips trembled. "He held my wrist so tight. He said..." She hesitated. "What did he say?" Lena pressed gently. Lily swallowed hard. "He said, 'Your daddy can't protect you, but I can. Come with me.'" That sentence made Lena's blood run cold. She pulled Lily into her arms instantly. "Listen to me," she whispered, eyes burning with fierce protectiveness. "You are never going with him. You are never alone. And he will never get the chance to touch you again. I promise." Lily's small voice wavered. "But he's big. And scary. What if he takes me when you're not there?" Lena lifted Lily's chin, meeting her frightened eyes. "He will never take you. Because now I know. And now, I'm not scared of him." Lily blinked. "You're not." Lena smiled softly.
No.
"Because I've fought scarier monsters than him. And I will fight him too." Lily's eyes softened, a glimmer of trust returning. "Will you teach me? So, I'm not scared anymore?" Lena paused. Her instinct said yes. Her heart said absolutely yes. But she asked gently, "Teach you what, sweetheart?" Lily whispered, "Teach me how to be brave. Like you." Tears pricked Lena's eyes, not of sadness, but of pride. "You're already brave, Lily. But I can teach you how to protect yourself. How to run smart. How to scream loud. And how to fight if you need to." "Really?" Lily breathed.
Yes.
"We'll start tomorrow morning." That tiny spark of courage in Lily's eyes lit up the whole room. Lena stood and went to the kitchen. She poured warm milk into a cup and handed it to Lily. "Drink this. It'll help you feel calm." Lily took a sip, then whispered, "Lena, do you think Daddy will be mad at me for running to you?" Lena shook her head firmly. "Your father loves you more than anything. He'll be grateful you're safe." But inside, Lena felt a sting of guilt. She should have noticed earlier. Should have protected Lily sooner. She brushed the thought away. This wasn't the time to blame herself. This was the time to act. Can I sleep here tonight? Lily asked timidly. You're not going anywhere, Lena said. My bed is yours. She led Lily into the bedroom and tucked her under the soft blankets. The child clutched the pillow tightly, looking small and fragile. Can you stay here until I sleep? Lily whispered. Of course, Lena said, sitting at the edge of the bed. As Lily drifted off again, Lena finally grabbed her phone. Her hand shook, not from fear, but from resolve. She typed a message to Mr. Sterling. Sir, Lily is safe with me, but we need to talk. Something serious has been happening at the park. She hesitated for a moment. Would he blame her? Would he panic? Would he fire her for not reporting earlier?
No.
Right now, the only thing that mattered was Lily. She pressed send. The reply came almost immediately. Where is she? I'm on my way. Lena inhaled sharply. This was it. Everything was about to explode. She placed her phone down and looked at Lily sleeping peacefully. Don't worry, she whispered. Your daddy's coming. And the man who scared you, he won't see tomorrow the same way. Outside, the city hummed quietly, but inside Lena's small apartment, a war was being prepared. And the first battle would begin the moment. Kaylin Sterling walked through the door. The knock on Lena's apartment door came like thunder, loud, urgent, heavy with fear. Lena froze for a moment, wiping her palms on her skirt before stepping quietly into the hallway. Lily was still asleep, curled beneath the soft blanket, her small chest rising and falling gently. The knock came again. Not angry, not aggressive, but terrified. Lena opened the door. Kaylin Sterling, billionaire, business tycoon, and Lily's father, stood in the doorway with his breath ragged, hair disheveled, and eyes wild with panic. He looked nothing like the controlled, suited man the world saw on magazine covers. He looked like a father who believed his child had been stolen from him. Where is she? His voice cracked. Lena stepped aside. Inside. Safe. Kaylin rushed past her instantly, scanning the apartment with desperate urgency. His eyes landed on the small bed in the corner, where Lily lay sleeping peacefully. The moment he saw her chest rise with a soft breath, his knees faltered. He stumbled to her side, sinking down onto the floor beside the bed. Lily, he whispered, brushing her curls gently. My baby, what happened? Why are you here?
Why didn't anyone tell me? Why?
But he stopped mid-sentence. His eyes lifted to Lena. His expression changed. Fear turned into confusion. Confusion turned into dread. Dread turned into anger. Lena, he said slowly, standing up. What happened? Why didn't you call me sooner? Lena braced herself. She had expected this. Sir, she didn't tell anyone. She came running to me only today. She's been missing for 3 hours, he snapped, voice trembling. I thought someone took her. I called every security team in the city. Lena inhaled deeply. I understand why you're angry, but please listen before you blame me. Kaylin stared at her, chest rising and falling with force. His hands shook. He wasn't angry at her, he was terrified. But he couldn't express it any other way. Explain, he demanded. Lena took a step forward. Your daughter has been followed. Kaylin froze. Followed, he whispered. Yes, Lena said. By a grown man. For 2 weeks. For a moment, Kaylin didn't breathe. Lena continued, her voice steady but pained. Every time Lily went to the park, he watched her. Today, he grabbed her wrist. Kaylin looked like the ground had disappeared beneath him. He stumbled back a step, hand gripping the edge of the table. No, he whispered. No, Lily, his voice broke. Why didn't she tell me? She was scared you'd be upset or too busy, Lena said softly. Kaylin pressed both hands against his face. I would burn the world if someone touched her, his voice shook. My daughter, my baby, was terrified, and I didn't know. Lena watched him with sympathy. This wasn't a billionaire talking. This was a father shattered. Kaylin lowered his hands slowly. When he looked up, his eyes had changed. Something fierce, something dangerous awakened inside them. "Where is this man now?" he growled. "I don't know," Lena answered. "We escaped through the back alley." I didn't look back. Kalen's jaw tightened. "I'll find him. I'll make sure he can never go near a child again." But Lena stepped closer, her tone firm. "Mr. Sterling, this is not just your fight. This is mine too. Lily ran to me.
She trusted me.
And I won't let her down." Kalen's anger flickered, just for a moment, as if her words pierced straight through his armor. He lowered his voice. "Thank you for protecting her." His tone cracked. "I'll never forget this, Lena." Lena shook her head. "You don't have to thank me. But you do need to understand the danger." She told him everything Lily had shared, every detail, every moment of fear. With each word, Kalen's fists clenched tighter. His breaths became harsher. By the end, he was shaking. "I'm going to the police tonight," he said. "I'll track him down. No." Kalen stopped.
"No."
"Explain," he demanded. Lena took a step forward. "Your daughter has been followed." Kalen froze. "Followed," he whispered. "Yes," Lena said. "By a grown man. For 2 weeks." For a moment, Kalen didn't breathe. Lena continued, her voice steady but pained. Every time Lily went to the park, he watched her. Today, he grabbed her wrist. Kalen looked like the ground had disappeared beneath him. He stumbled back a step, hand gripping the edge of the table. "No," he whispered. No, Lily," his voice broke. "Why didn't she tell me?" "She was scared you'd be upset or too busy," Lena said softly. Kalen pressed both hands against his face. "I would burn the world if someone touched her," his voice shook. "My daughter, my baby, was terrified, and I didn't know." Lena watched him with sympathy. This wasn't a billionaire talking. This was a father shattered. Kalen lowered his hands slowly. When he looked up, his eyes had changed. Something fierce, something dangerous awakened inside them. "Where is this man now?" he growled. "I don't know," Lena answered. "We escaped through the back alley." I didn't look back. Kalen's jaw tightened. "I'll find him. I'll make sure he can never go near a child again." But Lena stepped closer, her tone firm. "Mr. Sterling, this is not just your fight. This is mine too. Lily ran to me.
She trusted me.
And I won't let her down." Kalen's anger flickered, just for a moment, as if her words pierced straight through his armor. He lowered his voice. "Thank you for protecting her." His tone cracked. "I'll never forget this, Lena." Lena shook her head. "You don't have to thank me. But you do need to understand the danger." She told him everything Lily had shared, every detail, every moment of fear. With each word, Kalen's fists clenched tighter. His breaths became harsher. By the end, he was shaking. "I'm going to the police tonight," he said. "I'll track him down." No. Kalen stopped.
"No."
Lena met his eyes. "This man is not afraid of the police.
He's bold.
He's confident. He's been doing this for weeks. If you confront him without a plan, you'll put all of us in danger." "So, what do you suggest?" he asked, voice low. Lena's answer came, without hesitation. "We fight back smart. With evidence. With preparation. With strength. He won't stop unless he knows Lily is protected." Kalen studied her for a long moment. Then he sighed, exhaustion washing over him. "I can't believe my daughter has been living with this fear. And I didn't see it." "Children hide things to protect the people they love," Lena said quietly. "She didn't want you worried." Kalen walked back to the sleeping child and touched her cheek with a trembling finger. His eyes softened into pure heartbreak. "I could have lost her today," he whispered. "If you weren't there, she would have." He couldn't finish the sentence. Lena stepped closer. "She's safe. That's what matters now. But we have work to do." Kalen nodded slowly.
"Yes."
"Tell me what you need." "For tonight," Lena said, "we keep Lily here. She feels safe. Tomorrow morning, we start training her, teaching her how to react, how to scream, how to run the smart way." "Training?" Kalen echoed. "Yes," Lena said. She asked me to teach her to be brave like me. Kaylin exhaled sharply, somewhere between pride and disbelief. She admires you. Lena's expression softened. I admire her too. For the first time that night, the atmosphere shifted. Not calm, but united, Kaylin stood beside Lena, both of them watching Lily sleep. Two protectors. Two warriors. Two people who loved her more than anything. This isn't just about stopping the man, Kaylin said quietly. It's about showing Lily that she's not alone. Lena nodded. Exactly. Outside the window, the city lights flickered like quiet warnings. Inside, the room felt stronger, like a fortress being built. Lily stirred softly in her sleep, whispering, Lena, stay. Lena smiled gently. I'm right here. Kaylin watched her. Gratitude etched deeply on his face. And for the first time, he realized something. Lena wasn't just Lily's protector. She was the reason Lily was still alive. The park was quiet now, the man securely in the custody of the police, and the flashing lights of patrol cars slowly disappearing down the street. Lena held Lily close as they walked toward the car Alexander had sent to pick them up. Lily's little hands clung to Lena's arm, still trembling from the fear and adrenaline of the attack. Her wide eyes darted nervously to every shadow, to every flicker of movement in the night. Alexander, walking beside them, kept his hand lightly on Lily's back. He didn't speak, not yet. He was still processing the sight of Lena standing between his daughter and danger, unarmed yet fearless, guiding Lily to safety. The billionaire had faced threats before, but nothing like this. Nothing that required a strength of heart, a courage that no money or security team could be. Wide eye in the car, Lily leaned against Lena's shoulder, whispering softly, I was so scared. You did the right thing, Lena reassured her, brushing back a curl from her face. You ran to me. That was brave. And I promise, nothing will ever hurt you when I'm near. Alexander glanced at Lena from the driver's seat. He wanted to say thank you, to convey the depth of his gratitude, but no words seemed adequate. He simply watched as Lena comforted his daughter, realizing the full weight of what had just occurred. Once they arrived at the Sterling mansion, Alexander led them to a quiet sitting room. Lily curled on the couch between Lena and her father, still clutching Lena's hand tightly. The room smelled of faint jasmine from the candles Alexander had lit to calm the tension. Lena, Alexander said softly, his voice shaking slightly, I don't even know what to say. You saved her life tonight. He paused, struggling for words. You stood between my daughter and a dangerous man. Lena shook her head. I only did what anyone who cares about her would have done. Alexander leaned back, closing his eyes.
No.
Not anyone. Not anyone would have risked themselves like that. You are extraordinary. Lena's cheeks flushed. She had always known her job was hard, protective, and sometimes thankless, but this recognition from Alexander Sterling, the billionaire father of the child she loved, was overwhelming. Lily, who had been quietly listening, squeezed Lena's hand. You're my hero, Lena, she whispered. Lena hugged her gently. And you, my little one, are braver than you think. Last night, you ran when you were afraid. That's courage, Lily. Alexander sat silently for a moment, watching the two of them. I've learned something tonight, he finally said. All the money in the world, all the guards, all the walls, none of it matters if you don't have someone willing to fight with courage. Lena, you've given Lily something no one else could. Lena looked down at Lily, brushing a tear from her cheek. I will keep giving her that, sir. Every day if I can. I want her to know courage isn't about not being scared. It's about facing fear and standing strong. Alexander nodded slowly. Tomorrow, we'll make sure she's safe in every way. But tonight, let her rest. Let her feel secure. And Lena, you rest too. You've earned it. Lena smiled softly and pulled Lily close. Good night, Lily. Sleep now, little one. You're safe. Lily yawned, eyes drooping, and nuzzled Lena's shoulder. For the first time in days, she felt calm, protected, and loved. Alexander, standing by the window, watched Lena and Lily together, realizing that the bond between them was unbreakable. Lena was not just a maid, not just a caretaker. She had become a guardian, a teacher, a hero. And Alexander knew he owed her more than words could convey. As the night deepened, Lena whispered softly to Lily, "Tomorrow, we start learning how to be brave. You and I together. No one will ever scare you again." Lily's small hand tightened around hers. "I want to be brave, like you."
You already are, Lena said.
"And tomorrow, we'll make you stronger. You'll see." Alexander watched the scene quietly, a profound respect and gratitude filling his heart. He understood now what true protection meant: not walls, not money, not security systems, but courage, love, and dedication. And in that quiet mansion room, a promise was formed, a promise of protection, of guidance, and of a bond that could not be broken. The night closed softly around them, and for the first time in many fearful days, all three felt a sense of peace and hope. Tomorrow, a new chapter would begin, a chapter where Lily would learn bravery, Lena would continue to guide and protect, and Alexander would fully recognize the courage and loyalty of the woman who had saved his daughter. Alexander Sterling stood in the middle of the dark park, chest heaving, one arm wrapped tightly around Lily, while the other trembled, with barely contained anger. His security guards held down the man who had been stalking his daughter. Police sirens echoed in the distance, getting louder. But Alexander's eyes were fixed on someone else. Lena. She stood there with her clothes wrinkled, her hands shaking, her hair messy from the struggle, and a metal stick still loosely gripped in her palm. She looked exhausted, frightened, and strong all at once. A strange combination that Alexander had never seen before. The billionaire approached her slowly. "Lena," his voice cracked. "You fought him alone?" She swallowed hard. "I wasn't going to let him touch Lily again." Alexander looked at her as if seeing her for the first time in his life. "You saved her life," he whispered. But Lena shook her head. "I didn't do enough. I should have seen the signs earlier." She was scared for weeks, and she thought she couldn't tell anyone. Lily, still clinging to her father, whispered, "I told Lena today because she listens." Those words sliced through Alexander like a sharp blade. His daughter didn't feel safe enough to tell him, but she trusted the maid. He tightened his grip around Lily. "Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I should have been here. I should have known." Lena lowered her gaze. She wasn't trying to embarrass him. She knew he was already drowning in guilt. The police arrived. 2 patrol cars pulled up. Officers rushed out, handcuffed the man, and began questioning the guards. One officer approached Alexander. "Sir, we'll take him in for attempted child assault and stalking. We'll need statements." Alexander nodded, but his hand never left Lily's shoulder. "She's shaken. She won't talk tonight. I'll give the statement." But the officer turned toward Lena. "Ma'am, were you involved in stopping him?" Lena stepped forward.
Yes.
"I can give a full statement." Alexander opened his mouth to protest. He didn't want her reliving the trauma, but Lena gave him a calm nod. "I'll be okay," she whispered. For 20 minutes, she explained everything: how she found Lily at the restaurant, how she protected her at home, and how she confronted the man at the park. The officer listened with respect. When she finished, he said, "You're brave. Not many people stand up like that." Lena didn't reply. Her eyes were on Lily, who was watching her with admiration shining through her tears. A confession in the dark. After the police left, only silence remained. Lena wrapped a shawl around Lily because the night air was turning cold. Alexander finally broke the silence. "Lena, take us home." His tone was different, not commanding, not formal, but warm and almost pleading. Lena nodded and walked with them toward the mansion's waiting car. Lily held Lena's hand with one and her father's hand with the other. Inside the car, Lily sat between them, leaning on Lena's shoulder. Alexander watched quietly. The sight did something strange to his heart. When they arrived at the mansion, Alexander dismissed all the guards and staff for the night. He carried Lily to the living room and set her gently on the couch. "Lena," he said softly, "come sit." She hesitated. She didn't belong on Billionaire furniture, but Lily tugged her hand. "Please." Lena sat beside her. Alexander sat across, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. What happened today shouldn't have been your burden to carry, he said. You shouldn't have had to protect Lily alone. Then his voice lowered. But you did. And you did it better than anyone. Lena looked up slowly. Sir, any woman would protect a child. No, Alexander said firmly.
No, Lena.
Not everyone fights a grown man. Not everyone risks their life for a child who isn't theirs. Lena blinked back tears. He continued, I thought money protected my daughter. I thought security teams, expensive schools, high walls, that was enough. He shook his head, pain flickering in his eyes. But none of that saved her. You did. Lily crawled into Lena's lap and whispered, You saved me because you love me, right? Lena hugged her. With all my heart, sweetheart. Alexander swallowed hard. He was witnessing something priceless, something even billions couldn't buy. Lena's backstory revealed. Alexander, suddenly aware how little he knew about the woman who saved his daughter, asked softly, Lena, why were you at that restaurant alone today? She hesitated, then spoke. I was checking menu prices, thinking if I could afford to treat myself on my birthday. Alexander's eyes widened. Today is your birthday? Lena looked down shyly.
Yes.
But it wasn't important. Lily gasped loudly. You didn't tell me. I would have given you my toys. Or a cupcake. Or, Lena smiled. Your hug was enough. Alexander stood up abruptly and walked to the kitchen. Moments later, he returned with a small leftover chocolate cake the chef had made earlier in the day. He set it in front of Lena. No candles, no decorations, but it's yours. Lena stared at the cake, stunned. No, sir. I can't. You can, he said gently. You deserve more than this. Her eyes filled with tears. Lily clapped her hands.
Yay.
Happy birthday, Lena. Make a wish. Lena closed her eyes and made a silent wish. A safe life for Lily. When she opened her eyes, Alexander was watching her with a softer expression than she'd ever seen on his face. The night ends with a promise. Hours later, Lily finally fell asleep across Lena's lap. Alexander crossed his arms and leaned against the wall, watching them. You know, he said quietly, I hired you because your resume looked good. I kept you because Lily liked you. But today, I realized you're more than a maid. Lena looked confused. What do you mean? Alexander stepped closer. Your family. Her breath caught. She had never heard those words directed at her. Not from someone powerful. Not from anyone, he continued. Starting tomorrow, Lily will have full-time security. And you will never face danger alone again. I promise. Lena nodded slowly. Thank you, sir. Alexander smiled faintly. Call me Alexander. After what you did today, you've earned that right. Lena looked down at Lily, then back at him. Good night, Alexander. Good night, Lena. Neither of them knew it yet, but the events of this night had changed everything. Morning light spilled into the Sterling mansion, painting the polished floors gold. The air was filled with a quiet tension, one that only comes after a storm. Alexander Sterling, billionaire tycoon, sat in his study with his hands clasped, replaying the events of the previous night. His mind refused to settle. He couldn't stop thinking about the image burned into his memory. Lena, standing like a shield between Lily and danger, unafraid, fearless, and unwavering. The truth hit him hard. All the money, all the walls, all the guards, none of it had mattered. Not until Lena had been there. Lena teaches Lily courage. Downstairs, Lena sat at the small play area she had prepared for Lily. She had stayed the night to calm her, but the events of last night had awakened something in both of them. Today, Lena had a plan. Today, Lily would begin learning to be brave. Okay, Lily, Lena said softly. Do you remember what we talked about? How to protect yourself, how to scream, how to run smart. Lily nodded, her small hands clutching a stuffed bear. Yes, but I'm scared. That's okay, Lena said gently. Being scared is normal. Courage isn't about not being scared. It's about facing your fear anyway. She guided Lily through exercises, how to recognize danger, how to raise her voice, how to move fast but smart, and how to keep calm. For every instruction, Lena gave Lily a hug or a reassuring word. Slowly, Lily's trembling body straightened. Her eyes brightened.
See?
You're brave already, Lena said, holding Lily's hands. And tomorrow, we'll practice more. Lily smiled, small but sincere. I want to be brave like you. Lena hugged her tightly. You are already braver than you know. Alexander entered quietly, watching Lena and Lily. He saw the transformation, the little girl smiling, learning, laughing softly, trusting. And he saw Lena, guiding, protecting, teaching. His heart ached with pride and gratitude. Lena, he said, his voice gentle but firm. I don't think I've ever told you how much I respect you. Not as my employee, not as someone who works for me, but as someone who saved my daughter. You risked your life. You fought him. You didn't think of yourself at all. You are extraordinary. Lena lowered her gaze. I was just doing my job, protecting Lily. No, Alexander said firmly. This was more than a job. This was love. And you've earned more than my respect. You've earned a place in our family. Lena blinked, stunned. She had never heard words like that from a billionaire. From anyone. Lily, overhearing, hugged Lena tightly. Daddy's right. You're my hero. Lena's eyes shimmered with tears, and she hugged Lily back, whispering, You're my hero too, little one. Always. A plan for justice. Later that morning, Alexander sat with Lena and Lily in the living room. The man who had stalked Lily was now behind bars, but Alexander knew this was just the beginning. He wanted to make sure Lily would never fear anyone again. We'll hire new security, he said to Lena. People who are trained to protect her and to work with you. No one will ever touch her without facing consequences. Lena nodded. I'm glad, but I want Lily to also know that courage matters. Even if the guards fail, even if money fails, she can protect herself. Alexander's eyes softened. You've taught her that already. Lily smiled shyly, sitting between them. I'm not scared anymore, she whispered. Not when Lena is with me. Alexander pulled both of them into a gentle embrace. Neither am I.
Not now.
Because I see who truly protects my daughter and who truly cares about her. Over the next few days, Lena continued to train Lily in small ways. How to walk with confidence, how to say no firmly, how to trust her instincts. Lily laughed more, played more, and even hugged her father without hesitation, feeling stronger than before. Alexander watched silently, often from the doorway, marveling at the bond between the two. Lena was no longer just the maid. She was a teacher, a protector, and now a beloved figure in their lives. One evening, after dinner, Alexander turned to Lena. I want you to know something. No money in the world could replace what you've done for Lily. And no one else could have done it. I've realized family isn't just about blood. Family is about love, courage, and protection. And you embody all of it. Lily lifted her small hand and held Lena's. I love you, Lena. Thank you for saving me. Lena's eyes filled with tears, and she hugged the little girl tightly. I love you too, Lily. And nothing will ever harm you again. I promise. Alexander watched the two, realizing that money, power, and influence were meaningless compared to courage, love, and loyalty. The sun set over the mansion, bathing the garden in warm light. For the first time in weeks, the Sterling family felt truly safe, truly together, and truly unbreakable. And in that moment, one truth became clear. A maid's love had saved a little girl. A little girl's trust had awakened courage. And a father's heart had finally learned what true protection means. Lena held Lily close, smiling softly. Alexander stood nearby, silently grateful. And Lily, with wide, innocent eyes, finally knew that she was truly safe. The world might be dangerous, It might have threats lurking around every corner, but with love, courage, and family, nothing could break them. Ma'am, please help me. He's coming. Lily's small voice trembled as she ran toward Lena, the family's black maid, clutching her little arms around her waist. The park was empty except for the shadows of streetlights, but Lily knew someone had been following her, watching her for weeks. Today, the fear had turned real. Lena looked up from the menu she had been reading outside the restaurant and immediately saw the terror in Lily's eyes. Without a second thought, she scooped the trembling girl into her arms. It's okay, Lily. I've got you, she whispered, her heart pounding. The little girl gasped out the story between sobs, how a man had been stalking her whenever she went outside, how he had tried to grab her wrist today, and how she had run, hoping someone would help her. Lena's eyes narrowed. She was furious, but she stayed calm for Lily's sake. Don't worry, Lena said firmly. I'm taking you somewhere safe. You won't see him again. They ran through the streets, ducking alleys, until they reached Lena's small apartment. There, Lily finally told her everything. Lena's heart ached, but something inside her hardened. She would not let this man terrorize the child. Not today. Later, when Alexander Sterling, the billionaire father, arrived, he froze at the scene. Lena, a simple maid, was ready to fight to protect his daughter. He had never seen courage like this, not in his security teams, not in anyone. But would Lena be enough to keep Lily safe? Could they face the danger together and survive the man's next move? One woman's bravery, one little girl's fear, and a father who had no idea what true protection meant. Click to read the full story and witness the courage, love, and sacrifice that changed everything. But Zayden didn't flinch. My biggest mistake, Zayden replied quietly, was letting you near my family. Damien's face turned pale as he disappeared into the police vehicle. That evening, Alina sat silently by Cairo's incubator, watching his tiny chest rise and fall. She felt no hatred for the world, no bitterness for the past. Only one thing existed inside her, fear of losing what she still loved. She whispered, Zayden, I didn't want to raise him alone. I didn't want to leave you. I was just so tired, so lost. Zayden's heart shattered. Then don't raise him alone, he said softly. Don't face this world alone anymore. Alina looked at him with trembling eyes. And what if you change again? What if your world becomes bigger than us again? He kneeled beside her chair. Then I'll walk away from everything. The money, the empire, the legacy. I'll leave it all. Just don't walk away again without telling me how much it hurts. Her breath hitched. A tear slid down her cheek. Zayden, I still love you. That's the part that hurts the most. Zayden closed his eyes, overwhelmed by the truth he had been dying to hear. He leaned closer. Then let me make you love me without pain. Weeks passed. Cairo grew stronger, breathing on his own, opening his eyes, stretching his arms as if trying to embrace the world waiting for him. One sunny morning, the doctor smiled. You can take him home today. Alina's eyes widened. Home. Zayden looked at her gently. Wherever you want home to be. She thought for a long moment. Then she whispered the words he'd been praying to hear. Let's go home together. Tears filled Zayden's eyes. He kissed her forehead, then kissed Cairo's tiny head. And for the first time in 5 months, they walked out of the hospital as a family. Not broken, not bleeding, but healing that a soft sunset filled the nursery. Zayden was on the floor, holding Cairo, who now giggled loudly whenever his father made silly faces. Alina stood at the door watching them, heart full. You look happy, she said. Zayden looked back. I am. Because I have everything I almost lost. Alina walked over and sat next to him. Maybe we both learned something. He smiled. What? That love doesn't die, she whispered. It just waits for courage. Zayden touched her cheek gently. Then let's be brave together. And when they finally kissed, with their son giggling between them, it wasn't a return to the past. It was the beginning of a whole new story. A family reborn. A love rewritten. A future finally healed.